Hi guys, and welcome back to Ballet Cymru's online tutorials. My name is Beth and I'm a professional dancer with the company. So today I am talking to you guys all about The Light Princess, which is a production that we did in 2017. It was a brand new production, choreographed by our very own artistic director and assistant artistic director, Darius and Amy. The dancers also had input in some of the choreography because it was a brand new show, so it was kind of choreographed on the dancers that were playing the roles, which was really nice. It was really nice to be part of, and it was also the very first ballet that I did with Ballet Cymru. So the ballet starts at the christening of the King and Queen's baby. However, the King forgets to invite his sister to the christening, who is portrayed by three witches in our ballet. The three witches come, they kind of destroy the christening and they put a curse onto the baby so she has no gravity. The no gravity is obviously physical, so you'll see in the ballet the servants have like strings attached to the Light Princess and they're constantly trying to pull her down because she's always floating away. But also her personality has no gravity. So she's always laughing, she's always kind of crazy and smiley and never really takes anything so seriously. So the King and Queen are in a bit of despair and they want to help her out. They hire philosophers to help try and figure out how to break the curse, and they try loads of different methods but nothing seems to work. One day there is a carnival and the princess falls into the lake. She then realizes when she's in the lake that she has gravity, so when she's in the water she finds her gravity, so instantly she loves to swim and she's always out swimming. One day there is a prince who is in a forest and he's lost, and he sees a girl in the lake and thinks she's drowning, so he goes in to save her, and as soon as he sees her he falls in love. So they swim together and yeah, they're very much in love. However, the witches hear about her finding her gravity in the water and they curse the water, curse the lake, so it drains of all of its water. And the only way to save the Light Princess and to save the lake is if a human sacrifice puts himself or herself in the hole to block the lake draining. Obviously the prince sacrifices himself because he loves the Light Princess, and he vows to save her, so he goes into the lake and blocks the hole. However, the Light Princess goes in to save him, and I'm not going to say any more because I want you to see what happens when you watch it on Sunday. So the role that I played is the Queen. She's obviously the Light Princess's mother. The character is quite strict, and you see that in her movement. All her movements are really sharp. However, she is very sympathetic towards her daughter and cries a lot for her, and is quite desperate to help her. So what I liked about dancing this role was that there was a lot of partner work. I really enjoy dancing partner work, and myself and Robbie, who played the King, were always dancing together, so that was really fun. And also the Queen is quite a powerful character, and I never really portrayed a character like that before, so it was nice to step into the regal side and play a queen. So the first thing that comes to mind has to be the crown that I was wearing. So I'm tall anyway, and me and Robbie both had to wear crowns. Mine was a little bit taller than his. It went to about here, so added like a good amount of height to me, which meant that for partnering, which we did quite a lot of like intricate kind of turns and, you know, movements that you wouldn't necessarily see a King and Queen do in other ballets. We definitely were more physical. So having this crown on my head, adding that extra height was definitely a challenge. Also allowing it not to fall off was also a massive challenge. Anne, who used to be a dancer with the company, she helped make the crown and she made it nice and tight along my forehead. I did have some string elastic attached here, however that wouldn't have kept it on if someone knocked it, so it had to be really tight on my head, otherwise it would fall off. So I did suffer with a few headaches after the shows, but I got used to it. But that was definitely one of the first challenges, was when I first put on the crown. I had to think, right, let's make sure we can still do all the choreography with this crown on my head. And another one would have been the fact that we choreographed it obviously in the studio, which is massive, and the riverfront stage is really big as well. But when we go on tour, we tour to a lot smaller venues, and it was the first time that I had been a professional dancer. So it was kind of adapting the choreography to fit any size stage. I think that was another challenge, because me and Robbie again were like the two tallest people in the company at the time, so we would dance big, we like to move, and to kind of put that onto a smaller stage but still make it believable and technical and good was a challenge, but definitely something that we managed to do and got better throughout the time on tour. And it's something now, as a dancer with the company for 3 years, it kind of comes natural how to adapt on stage. So it's definitely a good learning curve. So Catherine Finch composed the music. She is a Welsh harpist. She actually played as well for us at the Riverfront for our premiere, which was really, really special. So the costumes were designed by Darius and Amy. They did all the costumes for us for that production, apart from the Light Princess costume, where Angharad Spencer made that. It was a beautiful tutu, really, really stiff net, really nice colours, and it looked so beautiful on stage. But yeah, there was loads of different costumes, a real mix of characters as well, so really added to the ballet. So finally, I thought I would just share a story about what happened to me one day during the tour of this ballet. So I was warming up on stage and I was underneath a bar just doing some hamstring exercises, and a dancer moved the bar, and as he moved the bar, I'm going to say his name, it was Miguel. Everyone knows Miguel, but he's forgiven, he was a complete accident. The tip of the bar fell onto my head and I was a bit concussed. I was bleeding a lot from my head, because head wounds tend to bleed a lot more. Looked a bit dramatic. I remember Miles running in and being like, there's so much blood, so that didn't help. But yeah, so I got rushed to hospital. There was an ambulance outside within a few minutes, and I was in the hospital waiting at A&E. My hair was like stained red from the blood, and they glued me back together. So they literally, I think it was literally here, right on the crown of my head, like boom. And they glued it back together, and yeah, the glue was really weird. It kind of took a long time for that to kind of heal, and I'd have like big patches of glue coming out of my head. Anyway, it was an ordeal. But obviously that meant that I couldn't do the show that day because I literally had a head injury. And it meant that the cast had to completely change for that show within a couple of hours' notice. So it was Gwen who did the Queen for the first time. She'd never done that role before, and she learnt it in about an hour without even me being there, because I was in the hospital. There was Miguel who did a philosopher who had also never done that role before. So that just kind of shows, like, live theatre, anything can happen. There could be a dancer going off a couple of minutes before the show and somebody else has to just go in. And because our company is quite small, you really have to know every part, because the whole cast kind of has to change if one person is out. So yeah, that was my story. I'm all good now. There is no scar. Well, actually, I don't even know if there's a scar because I can't see it. But yeah, that is a story I will literally never forget. Yeah, that's my Light Princess story. Okay, so that's the end of my Light Princess video today. I hope you've enjoyed and you've learned a little bit about the production that you're going to see on Sunday at 2 o'clock. It will be on our social media, so please go and watch it. It's a free production, which is amazing, and you can sit in the comfort of your own home whilst watching some theatre, which obviously we can't get at the moment with everything that's going on, so I think it'll be a nice treat for everyone. I will see you really soon for another video, and I hope you're all well and staying safe. So yeah, until then, bye!